Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 54. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I just want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time is our most valuable gift, and I truly appreciate the fact that you're sharing your time with me. So if you're one of the folks that watches me do the podcast, because the videos are stored in our YouTube channel, you're probably going to notice that my background is a little bit different. I am not at my home studio. I am actually on the road. I am in Omaha, Nebraska, and I am helping a family member out while they're traveling. They've got a dog that has special needs. And anyway, I am so grateful for the world that I've created that allows me to do that. I'm so grateful to be here. And why I'm telling you that is, if you hear a dog bark, I'm going to apologize now. She's pretty quiet usually, but every once in a while, she wants you to know that she is around. So if you hear a dog barking and you see that the lighting isn't necessarily the best on this video, I'm just going to ask for forgiveness, and I'm going to ask for you to pay attention to the content, because today is a really important topic. Today, I want to talk about resistance. And the reason why I'm choosing that for this podcast at this time in our existence, if you will, as entrepreneurs, as successful real estate agents, is that I am seeing a tremendous amount of resistance coming from the people that I have conversations with, whether they're in my one-on-one coaching or they're people that I'm meeting across the country, or they're in the groups that I'm leading. There is a bubbling up of resistance. And I think it's happening for a couple of reasons. I think I'm going to take the real estate lane for today. The majority of today, I'm going to talk about that. It is an industry that has been impacted by tremendous change in the last probably 5 years. And I'm going to talk about real estate, but this applies to any industry because every industry goes through change. Now, some change is welcomed. Some change is chosen. For instance, I may choose to bring on an admin. I may choose to bring on team members. I may choose to grow a group. Those are great changes. I may choose to change brokers. I may choose to be my own broker. I may choose to change the market area that I serve. Those are changes that I'm making, that I'm choosing to make. But there will be a time, regardless of the industry you're in, that change happens that you did not instigate or you did not engage in, and you're having to process it and you're having to make it work. Because you see, if we don't adapt to a degree, we're going to get left behind. And I know that my peers in the real estate world right now are tired. I know that we went through COVID, which was just an insane time for us with the amount of volume of sales that happened at the rapid pace it was happening. And then it shifted quickly after COVID, and we're dealing with low inventory, high interest rates, consumer confidence. We're dealing with a whole lot of stuff. And I think we're getting to the point that we're just maybe a smidge tired. And that also contributes to resistance to change. And that resistance is going to be the thing that is the barrier between you and getting to your goal. That is the barrier between you and getting to the success that you would like to experience, the barrier between you and your future self. Because whatever it is that you're resisting is simply the fact that you're either avoiding a transformation or you're simply avoiding change. That's why we resist. Think about avoiding a transformation. In the real estate world, we're having to transform how we show up. We're having to transform how we do business. We had a major lawsuit that impacted every real estate agent attached to the National Association of Realtors, which is the majority of agents in the US. And we've been forced to deal with this transformation. And I say forced, it's kind of dramatic, but honestly, we don't have a choice. There's new regulations, there's new procedures, there's new forms, there's different way that we talk about being compensated. There's a whole lot of differences or transformation that's taken place. And then also there's change that's happening. There's a lot of change in our markets that we're having to address and deal with change. So resistance for us right now, I think, is at a peak. And I want to talk about it because what you resist will persist. We've heard that before. Whatever you're resisting is going to persist because what you're resisting is truly what you need the most of. It's always like that. Think about from a health perspective. I want to get in shape. I want to run a 5K, but I'm resisting the steps needed to build up to running a 5K. I just want to go run the dang 5K. Well, I'm resisting that I might need a running coach. I'm resisting that I might need to buy new running shoes. I'm resisting that I may have to start off at a slow jog or I may have to do a quarter of a mile and build up. I'm resisting what I need the most. I'm kind of hanging on to that end goal, but I'm resisting what I must do to get there. And in our industry, the number one thing that I see right now that agents across the board are resisting is the one thing they need to do the most, and that is to connect with their database on a really high level. That resistance to that, I promise you, is going to create a gap between your actual and your goal. That resistance of the one thing you need to do at the highest level is going to be the thing that separates you from making goal and not making goal. It's that simple. That is where you're going to get the greatest impact. And the other area that we're resisting is just have conversations. I'm going to say this a lot of love and compassion. We got a little fat and happy during COVID because the market was so robust that it was easy to get clients. It wasn't easy to get a home under contract if you were representing a buyer. And honestly, if you're representing the seller, it wasn't easy to choose the one out of the 30 offers you got that was going to stick and get to closing and be the best for your client. And the market was driving a lot of our businesses. It was supplementing it in a big, big way. Now that that has changed, we are resisting doing the one thing right now that is the most important. And that is a toe-to-toe, belly-to-belly, face-to-face conversation with our database and people that we're meeting. Database number one. It's the greatest return of investment of your time. Calling people that know you, that like you, that have worked with you, that respect you, that want to help you, that are friends with you, that are family members with you. Those are the people that we have the greatest opportunity to get leads from. And I've heard it all. I've heard it all in the resistance lane. And when I know we're resisting, we're coming up with stories about why we're not calling our database. And it can be call after call after call. And as a coach, I'm going to keep hitting the place that you're resisting until we figure out what it is specifically that is making you resist that activity. I'm just going to do a broad stroke example here in the real estate world, and I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be fair. During COVID, we were going so fast and so quick. You barely had time to scratch your head, let alone call 20 people a day in your database. I'm going to be really honest. Should have we? Yes. Did we? Probably not to the level we needed to. Some did, which is amazing because that should be a non-negotiable activity. But a lot of people didn't. And it's always been something that successful agents want to resist doing, whether the market's great or the market's not great, or the market has shifted or it's changed or whatever you want to call it, is that connection with database. Now that things have changed so dramatically and sellers are staying in their homes a little bit longer, buyers are a little more apprehensive about the market, we really need to tap into doing some of these activities that we may not have been doing for a while. And what I'm hearing is the story and the reasons that are all supporting your resistance. I haven't talked to them in years. If I call them, I'm going to be bothering them. If I call them now, they're going to know that all I really want is a referral or their business. If I call them now, they're going to think I'm just being a salesperson. That's probably one of my favorite ones because guess what? You are a salesperson. So I'm going to ask you to do this. Pay attention to the thought that you're having the most often, that you're having over and over and over that you wish you weren't having. I don't want to call my database. I feel weird calling my database. I am not sure I'm going to survive this shift in the market right now. Whatever that thought is that you're having over and over and over that you wish you weren't having is probably a thought around something you're resisting doing. And here's what I love. It's your unconscious's way of trying to get your attention. If I know I am resisting doing an activity, chances are on an unconscious level, I know if I just did the dang activity, I'd get results. But for whatever reason, I'm pushing back on it because it's going to make me, uncomfortable. It's going to make me deal with transformation. It's going to make me deal with change. Yeah, that's why we're resisting it. So I'm going to ask that you just really sit with it and ask yourself, what am I resisting doing? And ask yourself the $1 million freaking question. If I just did it, what do I think the potential would be if I stopped resisting? Sit with that for a minute and then run it through the thought flow model. What is the thought I'm having that's creating this feeling of resistance, this feeling of pushback, or this feeling of fear or uncomfortableness, whatever the feeling is? What is the thought that I'm having? Because remember, until we change the thought, which is just a story, until we change that, we're going to keep resisting and resisting and resisting. So the saying, what you resist, persist, is so flipping true. Whatever you're resisting right now is what you need to do the most. If it's to lose weight, are you resisting following a nutrition plan? Are you resisting hiring a nutritionist? Are you resisting a gym membership? Are you resisting waking up an hour early to get in your cardio or your strength training or your yoga or your whatever? Chances are the thing you're resisting is the thing you need the most. And I cannot stress that enough. So right now, a bit of a soapbox with everybody I coach right now is, what in the world are you resisting and why? And be honest. And it may not be okay, I'm going to stop resisting and it's sunshine and rainbows. It may take us a moment to work through it, and that's okay. But I want you to become aware of what it is specifically that you're experiencing resistance to. Now, I'm going to be transparent. When I was an agent, so I got licensed back in 2001. March 9th to be exact. And I remember that date because it was the founder of our company's birthday and my grandmother's birthday. And it's kind of cool that I got my license on that date. So I've been licensed now for 23 years. Yes, I was a toddler when I got my license, but I got my license in March of 2001. What happened in September of 2001? We had a national tragedy. We had September 11th happen where we were attacked, and the towers and the Pentagon. And do you think things changed? They did. Do you think that if I would have just kept doing what I was doing, I was going to be successful? No, I had to change. And as I changed, and there were things that I wanted to resist. There were a lot of things I wanted to resist. And I knew that that was the thing that was going to get me to success if I just worked through that. And so I'm going to ask you, what are you resisting? As my career grew, and I grew a team, and I embraced change and transformation. And eventually I ended up selling my team, and I ended up being part of a franchise with Keller Williams, and then a coach. And here I am with my own coaching company. If I had to or chose to go back into production, I know that there would be certain things that I would resist doing because I just don't want to do it at this stage of life. But I know that that is the path to my goal. I know that would be the path to my goal. So I would have to deal with the thoughts that I would be having that would be creating the resistance to taking the action. I would have to do that if I wanted to be successful. I know that. I know there's going to be things that I would resist. I have different conversations with my database. I have a different database now than I did back when I sold real estate. I have more real estate agents, entrepreneurs, C-suites in my database. So those conversations are very different. If I switch gears and went back into sales, I might resist calling people with a different message. What are they going to think? Are they going to think that I'm wishy-washy? You've been a coach, now you're going to be an agent. What are you doing? Pick a lane. So I know there would be things that I would resist, but I would work through it, because at the end of the day, I know the thing that I'm resisting the most is the thing that I need to do the most. So peel back the curtains, folks, and take a peek under the hood and just sit with it. Run it through the model. If you're not familiar with the thought flow model, go back and listen to episode number 1 of this podcast series, where I do a dive on the thought model. Probably going to do that again here coming up soon to refresh. But resistance is really happening in the form of a thought, and thoughts drive all results. Thoughts create our feelings, emotions, and energy. Our feelings, emotions, and energy impact the actions that we take or don't take, and ultimately impacting the results that we have or don't have. And so resistance is the yellow flag on the field, and you might be pushing away the one thing that's going to make you the greatest success. So pay attention. As always, team, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Pretty easy to find, Tony at rethinkcoaching.com. You can find me on Instagram, Tony M. Caliendo. You can find me pretty much anywhere. Just Google me and you can find me. I'll be happy to help you out, but I'm going to tell you right now, what you continue to resist is going to continue to persist because it is the thing you need to do to have the breakthrough. You try working around it. You can try all different things. I've seen it a million times, and it all comes back to the thing I'm resisting is the thing I need to do the most. Now, is it always sexy? No. Does it make you want to do cartwheels? No. Will it get you to success? Yes. Will it get you the results you want? Yes. Because in order for me to break through the resistance, I'm changing my thoughts. I'm not changing the circumstance. I'm changing my thoughts. The circumstance is what it is. So it might be the shift in the market. It might be consumer confidence. It might be interest rates. It could be whatever the heck it is. And I know that the thing that I'm resisting is just a thought, and that thought's driving my feelings, actions, and results. It's really simple. It's not always easy to address the thing you're resisting. So please take a moment. If you need some help in what you're resisting, you just aren't sure what to do, call me. I know a lot of agents that have gotten into the industry after 2015 maybe haven't had to do the level of sales that those of us that have been around for a while have done in the past. May not be sure of what to say, how to say it, a script or a suggestion on what to say. I'm happy to help you out any way I can, to arm you with the tools to help you feel most comfortable about taking the activity that you need to take that you're resisting. So please reach out. Please, please, please do some self-reflection this week and do some inventory on yourself on what it is that's happening. I promise you, once you do and you experience that breakthrough and you reframe those thoughts with some of the tools we've shared, it's going to change everything. And you're going to start to feel like you're moving forward again. And you feel like you're more in control of your business than you have been maybe in a very long time. So resistance is not a bad thing unless you continue to ignore it or resist on a really high level. All right, team, have a great week. I will be back in Santa Fe, back in my normal setting next week. So I can't wait to see you then. Take care. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.